Hey everybody, it's Kim. I just wanted to come in today and talk to you about how you measure yourself. So I googled how to measure yourself and I came up with the whole, how to measure your hips, your chest, your waist, etc. But to me that's only one measurement of yourself. There's just one measurement. And I know that they say sort of like quality over quantity, but I know when I was struggling, those numbers meant everything to me, so much. And I concentrated so much on those numbers, which we do. But it was only, sort of like, it was through the EFT that I was able to address the hidden meaning behind those numbers and what they meant for me. You see, if you don't already know, my onset of anorexia didn't start, although I had a sort of like not a great relationship with food. My onset of anorexia never hit till I was 30, and it sort of stemmed from I broke up with my husband. We had a split. I found out he was having an affair. And overnight, basically, I became a single mum. I moved sort of 450 miles away, and I remember at the time, feeling so I wasn't going to let this affect my girls. I just wasn't. I felt that my life had been turned upside down, and I didn't want it to happen to them as well. So I tried to be super mom, and and sort of like my friends around me were saying, well, Kim, I can't believe you're being so strong. I would have sort of fallen apart by now, and etc. So, and I think I was kind of like quite in shock actually at the start. But when, I just then felt that I couldn't, I wasn't allowed to sort of show any weakness, because these people around me were sort of like, they were quite proud of me, and it was almost like a compliment to me for sort of being so strong. And I just felt I couldn't then sort of let that drop. I couldn't do anything about it, so I had to keep being strong. And I think in that way, I basically couldn't cope or couldn't control with what was going on in my life, so I focused on the numbers instead, and those numbers were about what I weighed, what size clothes I wore, how many calories I was having a day, how many hours exercise I was doing, the thing. And but by doing the work to address what the real kind of like hidden meaning was around these numbers, that's what it took in order for me to sort of truly recover. And I know that, the thought of recovery itself and the thought of kind of, sort of trying to address these issues is terrifying. Absolutely, I totally get it. But it is what needs to be done at some point. And I guess I get that you don't want to, overwhelm yourself and stuff. So even if you today start to try and think about other ways that you could possibly measure yourself, that really can start trying to help you. So for instance, it could be that you're a kind and caring person. It might be that you're a really loyal friend who, generously gives up their time to help others. It could be that you're polite or compassionate. It could be that you're respectful or supportive. And it could be that you're a good listener. It could be that you're hardworking and dedicated. You could be extremely talented in many different ways. It could be sort of like like on a academic level. It could be that you're great at sports, or you're very creative and arty. There's lots of other different ways that you can measure yourself. Now, I know it's not very easy, because that voice in your head tells you lots of things and tries to put you down. So ask a friend, and ask a true friend. You know, if you're kind of like not feeling that comfortable with it, ask a true friend what they really sort of feel. And also think about how you measure other people. You know, do you kind of like value other people by, you know, their numbers, you know, what they weigh, what size clothes they are, you know, have, etc. Because I bet that you don't. I bet you value them based on these other qualities. And so just have a think about that. And the other thing I'd say about friendship is when anorexia entered my life, it was like this new best friend had come along, and, you know, kind of like just saying, just do this, just do that, and everything will be okay. And I believed it, and because temporarily, yes, things were better. You know, it gave me a focus. I didn't have to focus on the pain that I was feeling. I just concentrated on this. But then when it started to get harder, the targets that were being set for me, you know, were kind of like, seemed like endless, never-ending, you know, kind of goalposts that got, you know, further and further and harder to meet. Then this voice, this anorexia, became more abusive, calling me fat and ugly and worthless and unlovable unless I did these things, unless I met these goals. And I just want to say to you, what kind of friend is that? What other friends do you have in your life that set you those targets, that make you feel worthless, that, you know, make you feel so rubbish? And I know that there's a part of you that, you know, wants to still trust in that relationship, to trust, you know, because it does feel that they're there for you, and a part of it does make you feel better. But there's another part that just doesn't. And so you need to kind of weigh up what kind of friend. And also, you know, this voice in your head is very good at isolating you from other people. So you need to work out, which kind of friend do you want? Do you want the abusive, the kind of the friend that you never know kind of what you're going to get? 1 minute is absolutely lovely and is proud of you and for accomplishing these goals, you know, but then on the other hand can be really, really abusive to you and shout and scream if, you know, if you're not complying, you know. Or do you want the other type of friends, you know, the ones that have unconditional love for you and care about you no matter what? And that's what you need to think about. And yeah, and I know it's hard, and I know that actually it's a lot easier for me to see things so much clearly now, and I totally get it. And I totally get, if you're watching this on the replay, that, you know, you might not, you know, kind of believe what I say, but I know where you are, and I know how difficult it is. And it's only when you get to the other side that you can look back and you can see clearly. And I really want to help you take steps in order to help you start to see more clearly. So I invite you now, if you are struggling and if you need some support, post in the group, and I will try and help you in any way that I can. And you know, if you want a taster session with me, please get in touch, and I'll be quite happy to do that with you. So that's just my thoughts for today, and I wish you the very best for today and the coming week, and I will speak to you soon. All right, lots of love. Bye.